we can get started. Again, I am Scott Wertman. I'm the Chief Communications Officer for the district. I'd like to remind you all again, our superintendent, Dr. Dixon, has had a death in the family this week, and so she's not in district today. She has been in close contact with district leadership and administration as we've been making these decisions and having all these discussions about this
how we serve every day in our mission. And we want to ensure that when we are back in session, that you are ready to go and know how valuable you are. All of our buildings will be closed starting Tuesday, and only essential staff will be reporting. And in fact, we encourage all essential staff to actually work from home. And the district is working to be able to provide our staff with the access they need to programs online so that they can continue to do that very important work on behalf of the district. For our staff who are listening, your supervisors and management will let you know if you qualify as someone who is essential. We are open on Election Day. For those locations that are polling, we will have staff in the buildings, limited staff there, including some custodial staff who will be working on cleaning that day. So if you are going to one of our schools for voting, I encourage everyone to please get out and vote. You can still early vote now. In fact, I did it yesterday. You can head to the Board of Elections to do that and exercise that very important democratic right. On the academic side, our team spent hours and hours figuring out what we were going to do, and that we have created a resource for all of our students and families online that is full of activities and information for all of our students to work on during this extended closure. We encourage all of our families to keep on reading and to doing math, and for our big kids to help the little ones. Get out in nature, explore. This is a great time to be creative. I want to see some of our student YouTubers make some YouTube videos to help educate some of the other students around the district. We can be out in nature, we can explore science, we can continue our education even when we are not in the classroom. So I want to really thank our academic team, who consisted of all sorts of people that helped out, including some of our wonderful community partners who will be sharing resources at free or reduced cost for our families. And all of that information can be found on the website. The last is about food. I know that that is a big concern for many of our families, and I believe information has actually just gone out to the public. We will be serving breakfast and lunch, so we thank the federal government for allowing us to do that. Our food programs are restricted and regulated by the federal government. So we are serving breakfast and lunch. We have 13 sites around Columbus, and all of this information went out or is going out right now. They are all over the city, and so families can go and pick up meals. They will be prepackaged, and you can go and you can take them home. One great thing is that if you go at breakfast, you can pick up your lunch too. So you can grab your meals for the day, or if you come at lunch, you can grab breakfast for the next day. So we want to make it convenient for our families and ensure that all of our kiddos are getting that food that they so desperately need. We also have had a lot of community partners and people in this community, our wonderful Columbus community, say, how can I help? And especially around this issue of food. And so we are still very much figuring out how volunteers can help. So stay tuned. One of the things we as a district cannot cover are dinner and weekends. So that could be an opportunity for some of our community partners to help us figure out how our kiddos and families get to eat dinner and food on the weekends. I again want to just say how proud I am of our team and the work that they have done in this short period of time under enormous pressure and stress. Our number one priority is to educate our children of Columbus, and we will continue to do that every day, whether or not we are in school or not. We care about our kids, and I think that's the number one thing that we saw. We saw all of our CCS grown-ups come together and really create a plan of action that's going to help support our kids. Now, I know not every decision and every question is answered today, and that's because we know, as our governor has told us, this situation continues to unfold. So we will still be meeting, making decisions as the weeks go on, and we just hope we can get back into the classroom soon with healthy families and students. So with that, we will open it up for questions.
When folks are coming to grab their breakfast or their lunch, are you guys asking them to remain in their vehicles? How do you want that all to play out?
I believe it is my understanding that actually we have access to buildings. Families can come in and go ahead and pick up the lunch. You cannot eat in the building, but you can come in and grab the lunch and then go. So it isn't curbside. You will have to come in.
Do you know if only a few people will be allowed in at a time, or is that still a work in progress?
That's a question that is a work in progress, but we definitely want to make it the most efficient we can. When we first started off, we're going to have about 500 meals at each site, and we will be adjusting throughout. If we see there's more need in one area of the city, we will make adjustments. Every day is a different day, so every day is a different day, and we're going to do our best, and we, hope our families understand, and we're going to, make sure everyone gets the food they need.
For some of these families or the kids who take the bus and then get these meals at school, what kind of things are going to be done to make sure they can get those meals too?
Absolutely. That's a really important concern. We know that transportation is a big issue here in Columbus, and this is one of those situations where we as a school can't do it by ourselves. So reaching out to some of our community partners and having those discussions, these are all things that are yet to come. So we will share information as soon as we know, and we will work with our partners to ensure people can get there.
Are we encroaching on testing season? I know there's a lot of state testing and benchmark testing. Are we approaching that, and does this closure impact that at all?
We are in testing season, which in reality is almost every day, if it seems like. But as we've heard our governor say, that we're going to be working with ODE and the governor to figure out what makes sense for our kids during this, this emergency that we have not experienced before. The governor has said that, that is really not a priority right now. So we will figure it out. Those decisions are yet to come, and we will continue to work with ODE and the governor on that.
For those who do not have internet at home, are they getting what we call blizzard packages, so that if they can't access online since the libraries are closed, those kinds of things, how are those kids able to get what they need?
We are not giving what you call blizzard packs, which are basically packs of stapled paper that go home. So we do have it online, and I'm sure that we will make that available through other community partners. Here's the thing. So we can't solve every single issue. We need our community to help out. So if you are a family and you have a family friend or another kiddo in your student's class, and they don't have internet access, just print it off. Help them out. Like, we need to help each other in this time. So we will try our best to make everything available, and we have a lot of partners who want to help. But we got to help each other too.
You mentioned the online packet that people can go on with a lot of activities to do. Is it going to be on like sort of a class-to-class or school-to-school basis, grade-to-grade in terms of, will some of the older students have more required work during this period, or how's that all going to work out?
So it is just a website. I don't want to say just. It's not just. It's amazing. They've done a lot of work on this. It is not teacher by teacher based. Now, some teachers, if they wanted to, could send things home with their own students, but the district information is general, and it's designed to help kids from K. We might even have some pre-K, pre-K too. Pre-K kiddos read too. Pre-K all the way up to our seniors. So every student will find something on there that they can engage in and continue their learning.
Will any of that be mandatory typically?
None of the components will be graded. We encourage every student and family to continue their learning, and we have every ability to do so.
So this is really like kind of when summertime comes and you don't want to hit that gap, so you encourage people to still continue to read or whatever it is so that they're still up to par.
That's a good way to think about it. So we are, at this point, we are under our plan for short-term closure, and so we are really gap closing. As I said, the situation changes every day, and plans continue to be developed. If we have to extend the time, we will have different strategy. So right now, this is all about ensuring that our kids, stay in that kind of education mindset and continue their own growth and development.
Any information on how this could impact graduation?
Again, we are working with ODE on that. Graduation, as you guys know, graduation and the amount of time kids spend in class, those are, the regulation. So again, those are things that we will have yet to decide.
Should some students expect mandated assignments for this 3 weeks from their individual teachers?
Not at this time, but we are working with our academic services team and our partners with CEA to determine what that might look like in Columbus.
I'm curious, Columbus Police put out a tweet saying that they would be helping out at some of these different sites. Is that the case? Can you walk us through some of those details?
Yes, that's correct, and we thank them so much for that. So the food is actually not just for our students; it's for any child so all of our charter schools and our other community schools. Any child can come in up to 18 and get food. So we're going to have the help of our Columbus Police Department as well as our own safety and security team to be at these 13 sites, to be there to help out and to make sure everyone's okay.
So could this be like school resource officers, I'm assuming, as well, things of that
Yeah,
nature?
they could be, yes.
Any message to parents who are feeling maybe a little anxious, 3 weeks ahead with their kids at home, kind of an unprecedented situation for so many people?
Yeah, so I'm a mom. I don't know if you all know that. So I'm right there with you. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing as well. So this is a tough time. It's a tough time for everyone. I have a 4th grader. So right there in elementary school. And so, we will get through this together. And I think right now is the time where we need to lean on each other. If you're part of any of those online communities, I know my school has an online Facebook community. Talk to one another. Help each other out. So really, we're going to need to lean on one another.
I can add to that too.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Our academic services team also developed some documents that are online. Our licensed support staff including our guidance counselors and our social workers and our school nurses, developed some documents there. And one of them is how to talk to your children about the COVID virus. So I encourage parents to go to the website and look at those links.
I'm curious for parents who might be feeling stressed out about where could their child go during the day. Of course, this is all about safety, but our libraries have closed, our rec centers have closed. Any advice, any message, any help for those folks?
It is, no. That's my advice is try to do it the best you can and try to lean on people. This is really hard. I know a lot of employers right now are making decisions to have employees work from home or not come in. So there might be situations where you are at home with your child. If you have to go to work or you have to leave them, call someone, use your networks, and we certainly don't want kiddos at home by themselves. But, you know, we are in a time where we're all just going to have to figure it out and lean on one another. And so I really hope that's what we can do as Columbus, and I believe that we can. I am really proud of our community. I'm proud of what we've all done from our state level all the way, you know, down to our district here. We are working well together as government, and we continue to talk, and we continue to make sure that our community can be strong. But you got to do what's best for you, and, you know, reach out. There's resources, mental health resources, and ways to talk to your kids, and use each other. It is stressful. It is a very stressful time.
And then I can speak. One more thing when it comes to why some of those places closed down, such as COSI and the libraries, it really comes right down to why we're in this situation and safety. So a place like COSI or a place like the public library makes it very difficult for children to stay 6 feet away from each other. In schools, even if we have the space and we put children 6 feet away from each other, they're not going to stay there. So it's about public safety and public health and what the emergency is that's going on at the time, and it's difficult, because those would be great places for children to go when school's not in, but it's just not safe right now.
Right. We are doing our part to ensure that our community and the state levels the curve, right? You all know what I'm talking about. And so we all have to do our part for our entire community.
We'll get it to you, but the website, the short URL is ccsoh.us/COVID-19. That's ccsoh.us/COVID-19, and that's where we're housing all of our resources for families and for staff, and any information updates that we put out are posted there as well. Any other questions?
Just one quickly, I believe it was you, correct me if I'm wrong, that really kind of works on emergency management and planning. Could you talk a little bit about how you know, with 50,000 students, how you kind of manage a situation like this that is so unprecedented, how much work it is for you guys?
Well, luckily, we had the foresight to be involved in emergency planning many, many years ago, and when the information was put out for schools to start planning for the possibility of a pandemic, we completed a conceptual plan in 2008 that asked all of the important questions that were part of a cogent pandemic plan that thought about all of the different working and moving pieces and parts. Each time there is a pandemic, such as when H1N1 occurred back in 2009, 2010, and now with COVID-19, those plans have to be specialized to whatever the situation is. So that's why the team has been working so hard now. But they had a basic plan to start from, which hit all of the points that were very important and identified by the federal government and state government as important in pandemic planning. And when we put that plan together, we did it in concert with our community partners as well. So we considered basic planning assumptions of public health, and this time with COVID-19, we brought all of those key departments back together to detail their plans specific to this virus and this situation.
So it's taken some of the stress, out of what you're doing.
It really has taken some of the stress out, but we had to move fast because the situation's moving very quickly, and you know, we can really thank our governor and our state health commissioner in being very forward-looking and making sure that we don't get into a situation as much as possible that some other states and some other countries may get into by not closing early.
Anything else? Thank you all for coming today.